we mentioned before, I gave you the top 10 my power rankings for Davante Adams destinations, and he was the original top 5 list of best spots for your team for him to land, and the answer was your team, 5 straight spots. There's a new one of those.
There's a new one, yeah.
Because DK Metcalf has demanded a trade, and apparently the Seattle Seahawks are going to oblige him, and the top 5 teams that should go get DK Metcalf are your team. Your team.
My team.
And seeing this news...
Only my team. Nobody else's team, just my team.
Seeing this news, okay, I have no idea what happened there last year. All I know is Jackson Smith-Njigba was getting the ball a heck of a lot, and you saw what he was able to do with it. And having DK Metcalf in a fantasy league, you had him as well, I believe, last year, TJ.
Factual.
He didn't get in the end zone a lot, and the offensive coordinator is no longer there. You know, Ryan Grubb went to Alabama, and they have a new way of doing things up there. But DK wants out, and the team is going to oblige him. And you know, all I can say here is this. Is that are wide receivers becoming the new running backs in the league? Because if he wants to be paid, and he wants to be paid $27 million or $28 million, whatever the market value is going to be, Brandon Ayuk said it last year, and the Niners are already thinking of getting rid of that contract. If you're not Justin Jefferson, we'll see CeeDee Lamb got paid. We saw, Justin Jefferson, CeeDee Lamb. We're going to see Jamar Chase get paid. T. Higgins, they're trying to figure out what to pay him. He's going to get $26 million right now on the franchise tag. Is that what's happening right now? Mm-hmm. That, hey, you're 27 and you're one of the biggest beast of a physical receiver around. We'll let you walk. Why would Seattle do that? Must be something going on behind the scenes. We don't know. They're very private about these affairs. I don't know. All I know is I saw what the Eagles were able to do with A.J. Brown, who is in the same draft and is the same type of receiver, right?
Yep.
I saw what he's able to do there. Why wouldn't you go get DK Metcalf if you can? Certainly, it's just 1 year. It's a 1 year deal. He's going to want a new deal, I guess. Yep. But if he's willing to go on the, I guess, Stephon Diggs plan, which is show up, ball out, go walk to free agency, or, unfortunately for Diggs, he blew his knee out.
Or you trade for him and get an extension done now. Save yourself some money next year.
I don't know,
getting
man.
a deal done immediately.
It's wild what's happening. Why would he be available? And then the free agent market now has DK Metcalf and Davante Adams on it. One's 32, the other's 27. Mm-hmm. I'm trying to get the financial aspect of this.
DJ's a trade request. He's not a free agent. Dude, but he's available.
My bad.
I mean, it's going to cost. It's going to cost.
You know what I'm saying? He's on the market,
of course.
So it would cost a team that gets him $18 million non-guaranteed, yep. And the Seahawks would save almost $11 million on a dead cap charge of $21 million. They'd save almost $11 million by trading him.
Right.
That's what I'm saying. Like, our wide receivers now, we'll take you, and you're great. But when it comes time to paying you top of the line market money, we're priced out.
Well, Seattle's in a weird spot. They don't really have the quarterback of the future there. They're trying to get a little bit younger. Defensive-minded head coach wants to run the football. That's not the real spot for a guy like DK anymore.
Let me ask you this question. Once upon a time, there was a defensive-minded head coach who loved to run the football in Tennessee who said, I will trade A.J. Brown over my dead body. The guy got traded. General manager got blown out. He's no longer there. And the guy who they traded him to won the Super Bowl with him after paying him. I'm not saying that that's what's happening in Seattle. And obviously, John Schneider knows a hell of a lot more about roster building than I do. And there's something maybe going on where they're just like obliging him. There's the door, sir. But I'm just wondering what's going on. Because right now, there's a free agent, Davante Adams, and there's a guy available like a free agent in this guy.
Well, DK probably saw the Brandon Ayuk trade and like, hey, I'm better. Deal last year, I'm better than this guy. You want to pay him $30 million a year, $32 million a year?
That's what I'm asking is, would you rather pay someone like Saquon Barkley $20 million, James Cook like 16, 17 million bucks a year, than a wide receiver that you're dependent on not having Patrick Surtain standing across from him and erasing him?
Not a true number one, DK, either. He works better with compliments around him.
Well, so you could say that about any
He's
player
not as
in
good
the
as A.J.
NFL.
Brown, we can agree, right?
I don't know. I think he's
Really?
I think he's as good as him.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah. I don't know. A.J. Brown, it depends on what you believe in. You know, is Jalen Hurts better appreciably than Geno Smith? I mean, Geno could spin it too. I think it is. Again, I've seen DK just dominate games. He is as physical as they come. You need to put on your hard hat to stop this guy. I just, again, there's always an iceberg. We only see the tip, and there's smart people in Seattle that clearly know what's up. And do they want to pay him $28 million a year? Do you want to pay a wide receiver $28 million a year? It's a question that you need to have answered. If you're the Minnesota Vikings, you're paying him more than that because Justin Jefferson is that guy.
He's as good as two wide receivers.
You can say that. But wide receivers can always have that day when Marshawn Lattimore is standing across from Mike Evans. You know that. You sometimes have your wide receivers, and it's just like 1 week in your fantasy league, that guy gets nothing because it's the matchup that you don't want to see.
Yeah. There's kryptonite, and then there's also 3 or 4 weeks where he's going to have, 6 for a yard and a half and 3 touchdowns.
But this is why running backs, they're much less ball dependent. They're standing right next to the quarterback. And they can do more than just run it as well. And that's why someone like Debo is more valuable, in my estimation, than most wide receivers.
Isn't it a lot harder to run 20 yards and catch a ball than it is just to have it handed to you?
Again, I'm just wondering again, are wide receivers like running backs where like we will have you up until a certain age, and at that point in time, we're just not paying our wide receivers $28-30 million bucks. That's just not the way we're building a team. We can get young guys like the Green Bay Packers and go to work. Like the Kansas City Chiefs go to work. The Eagles are kind of the outlier. Paying their guys top-of-the-line stuff and winning Super Bowls with them. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live weekdays from 12 to 3 p.m. Eastern on Roku Sports Channel in the U.S.